Though the days were still warm, the arrival of the autumn season brought with it crisp evening air that Callie found refreshing after hours of standing near a hot oven. She called Cream Puff to heel and walked down the country lane towards the Cendrillon estate, swinging the basket of bread and other baked goods that would be stale by the next morning. She breathed a deep lungful of the rich autumn air and admired the way the falling sunlight behind the red and orange leaves on the trees made them look like tiny flames. Callie cut through the pumpkin patch to save time, mentally plotting her next harvest as she went. It was a tricky balancing act during the autumn months, trying to make sure that she allotted enough time in the day to keep the bakery running smoothly, harvest and prepare the pumpkins to have on hand for the rest of the year, and also stay on top of the daily household chores. Her stepsisters were there to meet her as soon as she stepped through the door. "You're late," Adriella, the older of the two, said with a sullen frown, crossing her arms over her chest. Her thick blonde hair was braided and coiled atop her head in a style that Callie guessed would have taken hours to complete, and her blue silk dress was more suited to an evening party than a dressing gown, with a wide neck that showed off Adriella's collarbones and a bodice that hugged her curves before falling dramatically to the floor. "We thought we were going to starve to death. Poor Mama's been asking for you every 10 minutes. Never to be outdone by her sister, Giselle's dress was similar in style, though a dusty rose color. Both sisters had the same honey blonde hair and brown eyes as their mother, though Giselle took after her father more in looks, with heavier features and a shorter, thicker build. Callie did her best not to roll her eyes at her stepsister's melodramatics. "I'm sorry if I caused you to worry. I will probably be staying a little later at the bakery for the next few weeks during harvest." "You mean we'll have to wait for dinner every day?" Adriella's frown turned into a pout. "That hardly seems fair. You know Mama needs to eat in order to stay strong." "If you're concerned about it, you could always prepare something yourself," Callie answered eagerly. "I would be happy to show you a few easy recipes." Both girls' eyes widened in horror at the suggestion. "Cook? Ourselves? In the kitchen?" It was getting harder and harder for Callie to keep a straight face. "Yes, that is generally where the meals are prepared. But you don't even have to cook. You could just arrange a tray of sandwiches." Adriella shook her head vigorously. "Oh no, we couldn't possibly. I wouldn't know the first thing about it, and I'm sure you don't want us messing up your perfectly organized space. Besides, do you know what kinds of things they would say about us if anyone found out we did that kind of thing?" "What kind of thing? Feed yourselves?" "No, work." Adriella wrinkled her nose in distaste. "I know your father was only a baron, and he made his living in trade. You're not sensitive to these kinds of things like we are, but ladies of the house do not work in the kitchen. It's bad enough that G and I are forced to dress ourselves. If word got out that we were cooking our own meals as well, our reputations would never recover."